Avery, whose show is this? And we're live. Welcome, everybody, here to the Lakers Lounge podcast. I'm Anthony Irwin, Senior Lakers Insider for Offside, joined on this fine Monday afternoon by Harrison Faigen of SB Nation. Harrison, it is Christmas week, and all of the holidays are at full tilt right now. So no matter what it is you celebrate or refuse to celebrate, chances are you're stressed out during this time of the year. So to those of you who are trying to escape that stress, welcome. And that's going to be the premise of the show. So how are you holding up, bud?
Well, now this is supposed to be an escape from stress. I'm doing great. You know, it's great. I love the holidays. Nothing going on right now. You know, it's just been really just smooth sailing. And I expect the same for the rest of the week.
Every Thanksgiving we do at my brother-in-law's parents' house, and every Thanksgiving as we're driving away, it's like, man, it really isn't worth. Like I let's host Christmas so that we don't have to drive, because you know we have to like hustle to get the kids, like you know, get the kids out of there, load them up, race them home, get them to bed at a decent hour. And then usually Jen has work on the Friday after Thanksgiving, and then I'm usually stuck with the kids the day after Thanksgiving. And so like this year, same thing happened. And this year we actually like acted on it. We told all of we told my brother and sister-in-law, their parents. We told my cousins who live about 45 minutes away, like south of us. We told Jen's parents. My family originally was going to come, but my mom got a little sick, so she's not going to make it, or they're not going to make it. And here we are, like, you know, whatever it is, 72 hours from Christmas or whatever. And I'm like, you fucking moron. You absolute imbecile. What are you doing?
Yeah, my key to life is never volunteering to host anything.
You know what is even better, Harrison? Volunteering to host something at a time where everything is so freaking expensive. I bought like a ribeye roast for the family, and it costs $150. What? And I wish I was exaggerating. Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah, see, we went to a holiday gathering last night, and we brought some desserts from Trader Joe's, and that was the conclusion. So yeah, I guess I'm not stressed compared to you.
Yeah, now I get to cook the $150 piece of meat.
No pressure.
It's currently dry brining in my refrigerator. But anyway, that's not going to be what we talk about today. We're going to talk about what we want from the Lakers heading into the year 2026 and the holidays that immediately precede it. And I'm going to start, Harrison, macro, and then we will kind of discuss the micro elements of whatever it is that we ask for. And for me, the question that I once again find myself asking is whether or not Rob Pelinka is going to go all in on the season. And I feel we've been asking this.
It's a holiday tradition unlike any other.
Our entire careers, we've been asking.
Does Rob Pelinka believe in this offer, this roster,
this team, this roster? Yeah,
yes, this roster. And there's been one time the answer was yes.
And so, well, that's the thing, is that like he was able to get away with not believing in a roster and then not necessarily doing anything that would indicate he didn't believe in the roster beyond like not doing anything for the roster. And in this case, he has new bosses, and I do think he has a brand new superstar who he is trying to keep around for the entirety of his prime. What's that?
Extended already, you know.
Well,
you're going to take
extensions.
You're going to piss him off. This is the year to do it. You can make it up to him next year, you know.
Extensions don't really matter in the NBA because, like, as soon as a superstar signs their extension, they can just be like, actually, you know what? I was looking at your books now that my extension's going to kick in. And like my cap guy looked at it and he's like, damn, I don't really know how your team is going to get much better. Like, all right, I'm getting ready to get out. But yeah, I this is a somewhat unique situation here because of the Mark Walter aspect of things, and Luka Doncic is relatively new, and Austin is up for a big extension this upcoming not extension, but new contract this upcoming summer in all likelihood. You have LeBron's big decision that will come after the season as well. And the Lakers will have a big decision to make about Bronny. So yeah, there's a lot that is going to be going on here. And it all kind of starts, I think, Harrison, at the advent of 2026, when soon thereafter, Rob Pelinka once again is going to have to answer a pretty important question as far as like the direction that he's going to take these Lakers. And that's my thing. Like, all I ask for, I know that I joke here at the bottom, in this little main headline thing at the bottom, can we have a two-way wing? My main question is, or my main request from Santa this year as it pertains to the Lakers is, can I stop asking this question? Can we this ride? I don't like this movie anymore.
Anthony, if we're extending this analogy and you're asking the Lakers are your Santa and you're asking them for a Christmas gift, do you think that Santa thought you were a good boy this year?
No.
Yeah, so
I haven't been a good boy to them in a long time.
That's what I mean. I think you're getting a lump of coal again.
So what I have to do is like call Trevor and ask him to ask the Lakers.
He might have better luck. I really think like any Lakers podcaster but you might have more success getting the Lakers to give them what they want for Christmas.
So what I need to do is,
including me, and I'm not even that nice to them.
I need to like host another Great Western Forum pod where I convince everybody that this is the thing that we should all be hoping for.
Yeah.
All right. We have 72 hours. Pete, Jovan.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Christmas is the real trade deadline, as I always say.
But yeah, I mean, like, do you agree with like the overall premise of like, I'm done. I'm so done with this conversation. I'm sure that the audience is probably done with that conversation too. This again, I'll outline why this is a pretty unique opportunity here for the Lakers. You have Luka basically on a relative discount because his extension doesn't kick in until next year. And because of the time that he was traded, he isn't, he will cost less to the Lakers than he would have cost to the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, he's not on the mega ultra super duper max. He's on like the max.
Yeah. And then you have Austin making 14-ish million bucks this year, when starting next year, he'll probably be making at least 2.5, maybe even 3 times that much. Maybe even more than 3 times. I don't know. And then you have DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart on the contracts that you take on the other side of a buyout. I don't think they will be signed this inexpensively starting next year. I think both have proven that they are worth more than they are currently playing for. You could even make the argument Jackson Hayes has probably done the same thing. You have
I wish whatever team pays him luck,
Me too. But like, I basically, you have all of these players in these unique situations, and the Lakers are going to have more flexibility by way of trade assets and cap space and all that stuff next year. But all of that might be tied up almost immediately to even keep this very same roster together next year. So like
this roster that everyone is saying needs additions.
Yeah, and this roster with an older LeBron next year. So if he sticks around. So
and I guess that is a variable. Theoretically, LeBron is less expensive next year. We don't know that, but theoretically, I
don't think he's in the business of discounts. And
I mean,
we saw how it looked when it looked like the Lakers were going to ask him for one this year. He was just like, fuck that, I'll just opt in.
Yeah, and he opted in. And now he doesn't have another player option on the end of this. And, I would say LeBron, is obviously worth a lot of money. He has made a lot of money in his career. He probably expects to make a lot of money this summer. I do not think that there's a team out there that will be giving him the max. So, like, is it a discount at that point, or is that just the market?
I mean, like, I'm sure like a team would be willing to find, like, the Sacramento Kings. Like, if he was ever interested in going to the Sacramento Kings, I'm sure would be
but he's not going. Like, that's not happening. Like, he's not going.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
no. Yeah, I mean, I just think that disclaimer is worth noting, and that's
Yeah.
something that he could use as leverage. That like, fine, and then the Lakers could be like, fine, go to
Yeah,
Sacramento.
I
He's like,
think what we've seen from the Lakers is they would say, "Enjoy the Kings, King."
the Sacramento King, and then like the parentheses S.
Yeah, he's the hashtag Sacramento King. Just
Mhm.
a just the Sacramento King from Sacramento.
But yeah, like on what side of the line do you find yourself falling here? Because on one side, it's like go for it when you have all of these opportunities in front of you, or on the other side of the line, you say, well, look, I mean, clearly things aren't going very well in Milwaukee. Giannis just called himself the hottest girl at the club the other day. Did you see that clip?
It's very funny. Yeah. Yeah, I saw your tweet. I actually saw that clip because of your tweet about it, where you said, and I laughed out loud once at your description of he's expecting the overlap from the local
Yeah,
media, but
and
like they're
didn't get
not
it at
doing
all.
it. And so there's just this awkward silence after he makes his joke.
I'll see. Let me see. I have it here. I'll pull it up really quickly while we're talking. But yeah, clearly things aren't going very well in Milwaukee. There's always like a random NBA star that like just out of nowhere you go like, oh, he's disgruntled too. Okay. So maybe it makes sense for the Lakers to keep their powder dry and figure out a way to, get better next year and maybe upgrade from Marcus Smart to like a healthier version of Marcus Smart, or upgrade from Rui Hachimura and to a wing who makes a little bit more sense next year. But yeah, I found the thing. So let me see if I could video
It's so
file.
good. It's someone who is very clearly used to like all their jokes being laughed at because like everybody has to because of like societal pressure, and it just doesn't land.
Not at all. All right, here we go.
The most I've been never talked about in my career. I'm like in my house with my kids and all that, and I'm opening the TV and like, oh, Giannis is going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Giannis is going to the Detroit Pistons. Which, hey, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the hottest chick in the game right now, man. I'm joking, but.
That is to me almost funnier than the Kawhi laugh in some ways. You know,
a zillion percent is. It is zillion percent. Because all right,
like
so
Kawhi is just an awkward guy, and like we bullied him out of ever showing joy again because he had kind of a silly laugh in a Toronto press conference, and like Giannis having to laugh at his own joke after a 2-second pause of dead air is almost better to me.
All right. So here's the funny, like I kind of feel like this is worth like diving into a little bit and having some fun with. So when we talk about like the overlap, I think we should explain that to the audience that in this scrum, the people who the microphones are facing, they could say almost anything. And if it has a hint of humor to it, in an effort to get that person to continue to like them and answer their questions in the way that we want them to, we always, and I say we because I've done it too, always overlap. Always. And I'll do it when I'm hosting like on a pod or something like that.
No,
like,
I mean that's part of it's part of the like conversation. It's like but you probably do it with friends and family. It's like, maybe your uncle's joke wasn't that funny, but you don't want to be rude,
right.
It's
but it's that to the nth degree with especially a Giannis, right? A superstar like Giannis. And so he's always gotten
and it's
away
like there's that stereotype of it, like athlete funny versus real funny, and it's
Mhm.
like the bar is so much lower for like the pro athlete to be like considered like funny, like Giannis had to like say he likes smoothies, and people were like, this guy should do a stand-up tour.
Or
Yeah.
But like
And
the
it really
whole,
is, to go back to the corollary that he's making, he honestly did experience like,
being
the hottest girl in the club thing there,
Mhm.
where it's like, but when you're not, people aren't laughing as much anymore.
Well, so the thing that he didn't, I think, take into account was that the joke he was making quite possibly, maybe even quite probably, will cost some of those people he's making that joke to's jobs. Because like the Milwaukee Bucks, without Giannis there, becomes a lot less coverable. Like, I don't know if you saw this the other day with the whole like the Clippers thing, where there was like the back and forth as far as like whether there were people on the road covering the Clippers, and that like there was people asking like, wait, how can the Clippers have, you know, be an LA market team? You know, they're at the center of one of the bigger controversies in sports and all that stuff.
First misconception is that they're an LA market team. They're not a team. Like there's more interest in the Clippers outside of LA than there is in LA.
Yeah. But like, you know, there was a lot of people asking like, wait, how does nobody travel with the Clippers when they go on the road? And it's like, it's because a lot of these publications don't want to spend to send reporters out on the road to cover the Clippers. And it's this like really complicated relationship that we have in journalism and the NBA media landscape, and the need to make a buck and continue profits and stuff. And so like when Giannis makes this joke to the people who are on the other side of the microphones who normally laugh at everything, and he's joking about like, yeah, I'm the hottest girl at the club because I might get traded and not be in this market anymore. The people on the other side of the thing are like, excuse me? Huh?
They're like, oh, so yeah, we got to cover the Bucks with no draft picks and the Damian Lillard cap hold and no way to get better for like they're just like turbo screwed for like 8 years, basically.
Yeah. And like, you know, to take people even further behind the curtain, I guess here, but like your job security is tied directly to your readership and your audience and your podcast listenership and all that stuff. And
there's going to be a lot fewer people consuming Buck stuff if you
my God, you know, and so those people who are on the other side of the microphone, they're like not laughing at all.
Yeah.
You get that crickets moment.
Not a
they're
joke.
Like,
not a joke to me anymore. No.
Yeah. No, this is not cute anymore, Giannis. What do you
like? I'm looking at like, can you let me know if you're going to the Knicks so that I can maybe like get a job in New York there?
Right. And maybe some might,
You're
you
like,
know,
hey,
like
Giannis knows me. I could.
Yeah. Oh, that happens all the time in this stuff. So, but anyway, I found all of that funny, and that brings us back to if you're Rob Pelinka and you have Giannis joking about being the hottest girl in the club at a time where you are arriving at this fork in the road, or that at the very least that fork, like the Lakers can now see the fork in the road off in the distance, right? At the beginning of the season, you knew the fork was there at some point. But as we get closer to the new year, and as we get, you know, deeper into trade rumor season, that fork is fast approaching. You know, Siri has now warned you one time about that fork. And, you know, for me, I know how I feel about this, but Harrison, how do you like, which path off of that fork do you think the Lakers should go in here?
Well, it depends on what is actually available, you know, which we can't 100% know right now. And I know that that's boring podcasting, but like it's, you know, like I think that there are players that would be worth them going for it. But what does going for it actually mean? They have like one for tradable first round pick right now. So, you know, I know they got Luka for 1 first, but that was with AD in the trade with a team that maybe overvalued AD like a little bit, but AD was still like an all NBA.
Quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
A lot of
it was AD was still an all NBA player. Like that's not nothing. Fair. You know, you're attaching AD, you're attaching Max Christie.
The guy who valued AD that way got fired, and I think he deserved it. So.
with less than a year, you know. So it's like, yeah, fair to say maybe overvalued him a little bit, but still that is like, you know, he has some value. The Lakers, I don't know that they have anyone with like that level of salary that also has that level of value. You know, like even LeBron has a no trade clause. Like he's making a lot of money. And if there was a team like, you know, like if Cleveland decided, hey, we want to shake it up, we want to bring LeBron back, he would still have to want to do that. And then it's like, also, what are you getting from Cleveland that makes that worthwhile? It's like Darius Garland doesn't look like he can play basketball anymore. Like, I don't know that the Lakers need like another small guard that needs the ball a lot, you know, alongside Luka or anything. And so, you know, it just is, it's really complicated. And they really are like almost, it's this weird thing where they're good enough for you to be like, they should invest, they should go after like help and try to compete this year. But then, it's not just that you look at the Thunder and they look incredible, but you also look at the Lakers roster and it's like, this was almost designed to be a gap year, and they were like accidentally too good. Like they didn't expect Austin Reeves to be like an all NBA level player to start the season.
Ayton
and
looks like a bona fide top maybe 10 starter in the league, right? Like
yeah, and like they probably didn't expect DeAndre Ayton to be like this good.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's like I think he's like a top 10 center, right?
I'd have to go through the list, but I mean, in my heart, he's top 1. But
he's top 0.5. Yeah,
yeah. But I think you got Jokic like above him, obviously. Wemby.
I'd say Zubats is better than him, like on a night by night basis.
Yeah, well, Zubats is out now.
Yeah, but I like when he's healthy. I would say Şengün, if you want to consider him a center.
Yeah.
Right. So there's 3. I would say, are you considering Cat a center? Do you think he's been better than Ayton this year? Probably.
Yeah. No, not probably. Definitely, he has been. Yeah.
But like my point is, we're like
Ayton's really efficient, but like he's in a much more limited role. You're not.
Like, I think Ayton's probably been better than Miles Turner this year. Like Miles Turner, like just based off of the way that I see people who cover that team talk about Miles Turner, he's been kind of disappointing there. Chet, I think, has been better than Ayton, right? So he's 5. I would say Chet's pretty, top 5. But I think Ayton belongs in that like 5 to 10, 15 at worst. Like he's definitely above average.
He's definitely upper half for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was like top 10. I don't know if I want to like say that off the cuff, but like he's close to it for sure. It's not like an insane take. Even if he's not there, he's been unbelievable and like amazingly efficient in his role. But I don't know that they expected that level of production from him. And like, why would you? It's not like he was,
I don't think he did.
Yeah. Again, it's like what I was saying about Jackson Hayes last year, where it's like, if you're like, you can go from like, for my money, worst center in the league to like passable regular season starter just because Luka is on your team. And like that is we're seeing that affect like the force multiplier with Ayton, where he's like a much better player than Jackson Hayes, and you put him next to Luka and all of a sudden he looks like unstoppable and he never misses a shot anymore, and so your job just becomes a lot easier. And so they're good, but it's like, so then what are you trading? Like,
actually,
you're not trading
really
often.
fun, just really quickly, a really funny example of that is actually Jackson Hayes, because Jackson, right, goes from the Pelicans, who like just said, get out of here for a variety of reasons, but they were just like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he gets to the Lakers and he has quite literally never missed a shot against the Utah Jazz since he's been with the Lakers.
He signed for the veterans minimum, and he opted into his veterans minimum player option, and the Lakers could not move that veterans minimum player option in like a salary dump. Like nobody wanted that veterans minimum for Jackson Hayes. And then they got Luka, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they're 27-12 or whatever they were after the trade. And
and then next year the Kings will be dumb enough to pay him.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like my thing is like, I just don't know who's realistically available, and like that the Lakers have the assets to go get them. Like the Lakers can't get Giannis at the trade deadline. They don't have enough, and they don't have the contracts that really match up and make it make sense. My dream scenario is, to get in on the aftermath of Giannis trade to the Knicks and get OG Anunoby if you can.
That's always, to me, seemed the more prudent approach here, because like, now you're tapping into the
Celtics
desperation.
did with Drew Holiday, where you get in on the aftermath of the Dame trade and you get the guy that the team that's about to go into the tank got to sell off for more picks. Get the winning role player. Don't necessarily go get like the star, because we're seeing in the NBA what wins is like depth and like talent spread out across your roster on reasonable contracts, versus like stacking the decks with like as many expensive guys as you can. And then it's like, okay, if they miss time, you're screwed. And everybody's missing time now. Like Luka's going to maybe miss time now.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be, he might even be ready for Christmas. Honestly, he has that. Like I thought it was, I forget who pointed it out, who on the beat pointed it out, but credit to them for doing so. but they noticed that he was wearing running shoes at practice today, which would indicate he didn't participate basically at all. I did ask about like all of the Lakers injuries and was basically told that if like they were in the playoffs, all of these guys would give it a go. All of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, I believe that. Luka played and he was clearly limping the other night, and so it's like he can move and he can play. He just is not himself.
Yeah.
And
I don't think anybody's
and
gonna
I
miss
would imagine
anything.
Austin's the same thing.
I think Austin probably plays in the next couple games, be my
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, like the thing here with this opportunity in front of them and how unique it is, like, look, the number one point to make if you are on the side of keep the powder dry is that we are getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the Luka LeBron era, and their numbers together on the court continue to look pretty bad. Like they aren't where they need to be. You kind of need to be overwhelming when those two guys are on the court, and they just haven't figured out
I
a way to
think
be
you
it.
maybe want to optimize your starters before you make a judging on that pairing.
That's fair. That's also fair. Yeah, I mean, like the defense is just so bad with
the starting
Rui
lineup
also
is
there.
dragging it. Like I want to see somebody in Rui's place next to LeBron before we make a judgment on whether or not those two guys can fit together. Because I think that's more of a 3-man combination of like problem, where it's just you have 3 guys that need to guard power forwards.
Isn't that kind of like that's the go all in part?
Yeah. I mean, so to be honest, I'm not really that precious about including the first round pick in a trade, as long as it's for a good player, because, again, we've seen all these star trades. Even if you think you're going after Giannis this summer, you're only getting Giannis if he tries to force his way to the Lakers anyway, probably, and what we've seen time and time again in these trades is if the star wants to go somewhere, they're probably going to get to that place unless they're Dame, and they are like the team is just going to take what the other team has to give. And so it's like almost like, if you're in a store and you see a bunch of people outside with like guns waiting to rob you, you're like, I'm going to spend a little extra cash in here because like that way they're just going to take it anyway,
Yeah, it's what I thought
that's a great analogy. It happens to me all the time. I'm walking out of a store and I'm like, oh, I'm about to get robbed. Like, let me just go buy like an extra pack of gum just because, they're not going to take that.
Well, that's honestly why I thought the Clippers would have already traded some of their first round draft capital, because it's like the league's about to take it anyway. So
I don't know. I mean, the league, I would think can do whatever it wants. The Adam Silver can make up rules if he wants to. He can take your picks 15 years out if he wants to.
I sure hope he does. That would be great. Just to follow up on what LeBron and Luka have done so far this year, 239 minutes on the court together so far. Offensive rating of 113.7, which is fine. Probably needs to be a little higher, but fine. I think that puts them at about league average, or no, maybe slightly above league average.
That's got to be above league average.
Yeah, it probably is. Not overwhelming though. Right. It's not holy shit, Luka and LeBron are on the court together. Good God, look at what they can do. Where their problem is on the defensive side, to your point with Rui, that Rui is kind of the anchor that is wrapped around that the defense that unit is playing together, that pairing is playing together. Luka and LeBron so far this year are carrying 121.2 defensive rating in the 239 minutes they've played together. And that means that you're always operating in the half court. That means that, the defense is always set up for you. And, I just think and again, you have to cross match basically everything. Somebody is guarding somebody that they aren't comfortable with. And we're talking beyond the normal NBA discomfort, right? Because most of these teams have a guy on it that like on that team who nobody is all that comfortable guarding that player. But even this pales. This is beyond that pale. So Yeah, I agree with you. And that
the thing is, for me, the whole like Rui thing is I understand why they think that starting is important to him and why, like as a coach, you would want a player to be the most bought in and like, especially if you're asking them to do hard jobs. But it's like, if you're asking them to do a hard job and they're failing at it, how much does their attitude matter? Like I don't care that Rui is in good spirits while getting lit up by the other team's wing, like, you know what I mean? Like, and
isn't this so much fun?
Yeah, it's like, well, at least I'm starting, It's like
I haven't
there's
shot
like,
in like a week.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and I mean this with respect, but like Rui is not good enough for me to care about his happiness. It's like, sorry, like you gotta deal with this. We're all adults. You can only optimize so many players. You already have to, like, in various ways, hide Luka, LeBron, and Austin. You don't get to just, like, have, like, I'm sorry, Rui, you don't get to start. You would not get to start if you were on a team with, like, two guys that play your position, that play it better. Like, that's the reality of the NBA. Like, you're not good enough that, like, I care that much about, like, you being more bought in starting, because you're not again, Rui has been pretty good offensively, but it's not a high enough margin thing for me to care.
I mean, like, to your
and
point,
is he going to what is he going to do? You're going to put him on the bench and he's just going to be like, I'm not going to play hard anymore in a contract year. Okay, well, like, good luck get it with your market then,
Usually the only players whose well-being I really care about is the superstar. Like the only player I find, like, while you were talking, I was kind of thinking about it. The only player I really care about where they're at, their headspace, all that stuff. DeAndre, beyond, like, to the extent that I care about, like, everybody, I hope that everybody's doing okay. But like,
yeah.
Specifically, for my rooting interest for my basketball
here.
Like,
I'm not like, make Rui sad for the fun of it. It's just like it's a basketball fit thing.
But like, yeah, it's only superstars. I only really care that, like, Luka likes where he's at right now. I only really care that, like, Austin is happy and content, or
like,
LeBron.
The Lakers didn't even care if LeBron was happy this summer. Why is Rui starting then? It like
it is crazy. You kind of, I mean, it says a lot about.
I know that there's basketball arguments for it. I know it's not as simple as we're making it out to be. Like, I know that it's like, you can say, I'm worried Marcus Smart is going to get hurt if he plays that high of minutes or whatever. But, at that point, isn't he going to get hurt probably anyway? Like, even if you're limiting his minutes at times, like, if you think he's that brittle.
Well, it's also like, if you start Smart and you see that very clear jump to where that starting unit starts working a lot better, then, like, go get a better Smart, or a Marcus Smart that's actually going to stay healthy. And then you can have Marcus still come off of the bench and be that shot in the arm as well. And and your rotation can still be balanced whenever that player subs out of games. Like, that's the part of this. And I see Adam asking, I thought Rui didn't care. He does. He has specifically said it on the record that he cares about whether or not he starts. And even the time
when they asked him at media day, didn't he like pause for like 5 seconds before?
That was the thing, was that like they asked him, and by the way, this is a question that he knew he was going to get, and he still was like, I mean, yeah, like, if I have to come off of the bench, but, like, we've had a lot of success with me starting, and I've played pretty well as a starter,
And, like, look, offensively he has, and he's had his moments. He shot the ball really well this year. This is not about me hating on Rui. It's just like, the Lakers wouldn't, if they had, like, DeAndre Ayton, but then they somehow acquired Nikola Jokic, like, they wouldn't continue to start DeAndre Ayton next to Nikola Jokic just to make him happy and because he's like one of their better players and they want him to feel good. They'd be like, sorry, you're coming off the bench.
Right. And look, I also feel like it needs to be said here that I understand where Rui is coming from. We've all played sports. I wanted to start. There just happened to be a better player on my high school team who started over me. And it's like, what am I going to do?
And again, who is giving Rui a guaranteed starting job offer this summer?
Well, I was thinking about that, Harrison. Like, what good playoff team is Rui starting on?
Yeah, like I think Rui is like a good quality role player. I don't think that he's a guaranteed starter guy.
Would he start in Houston? Probably not. Right? They have KD. They have.
I think KD would probably start over him. Yeah.
KD. They have. Who am I? They have Thompson. Like the Amen Thompson is also a wing. They have. Who's the other wing who starts?
You know who's not? You know who's not starting Rui to make him feel good is Ime Udoka.
Yeah, his treatment to Reed Shepherd before Reed Shepherd figured out how to shoot threes was hilarious.
Yeah, you know what Ime's saying? Like, if Rui's like, I really prefer to start, coach. Like he's saying, like, I'd prefer if you could guard wings. So,
yeah, I'd prefer if you'd rebound.
Yeah,
we
all have preferences.
Yeah. And
probably throw a couple expletives in there, question his manhood, all that stuff. Like, and I know that's not how JJ operates. I'm not asking JJ to not be himself, but it's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you there. Thing is, though, if you're going to get a player who would start over Rui, that puts you in the go win now.
Yeah,
fork in the road. That means you're taking that left turn and you're saying, let's get in the fast lane. Let's see what the Lakers are capable of this year. And by the way, like I just maybe I probably sound like a broken record because that has tended to be my stance for going on a decade now. But like let's think about it this way. For going on a decade now, the Lakers have employed at least LeBron James.
It has not been a decade.
Almost. It's like 8 years. I think it's been like 8 years.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So for like that's what I mean. Like that's what going on means, right? It's like we're
summer of 2018. But but like it was 2026. Yeah, it's
it was LeBron at first, and it was like, all right, this young core is cute. Let's go get somebody who like is on LeBron's timeline. And then Anthony Davis is the guy who was on LeBron's timeline. And they did push chips into the middle of the table. And holy shit, look at that. They won a championship. And like to their credit, they continue to push chips into the middle table after, right? Like the Dennis Schroeder trade wasn't an error of omission. It was an error of commission, in my opinion. And the misunderstanding of like, or the undervaluing. I think all of the Lakers' problems started with Rob Pelinka not valuing Alex Caruso as a basketball.
Well, Danny Green, maybe.
Huh?
Danny Green, maybe. I mean, similar line of thought. I mean, it's just Rob. We know Rob does not value role players.
No,
which again makes the we need to keep Rui happy by starting him thing bizarre.
Well, I think that's a Linda Genie thing, but like the thing that eventually the Lakers ran into, right, was, and this was really when we started having this conversation, was when the Russell Westbrook trade was clearly a disaster. And it was like, is this salvageable? And for a year and a half, they said, no, it is not salvageable. And they did nothing.
And honestly, might have been right at that point. Like, maybe. It's like, I don't, that year one, I don't know what you were attaching to Russ that you were going to get positive value back,
Well, I wonder at what point the conversations, I think it was only when he was expiring
you were going to be able to make a reasonable trade with his deal.
Yeah. But certainly that following summer, I feel like you could have, like that summer, the Lakers could have traded Russ for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, and I think a lot of things would be different. But that's the thing, though, is that like starting with that Russell Westbrook trade, it's been this like loop that we've been playing on. We've been just replaying the same song and rehashing this same conversation. And this exact podcast, I feel like we have recorded at Christmas time for like 5 fucking years, Yeah. And like that, before we dive into like what we would like to see, or, as part of the micro aspects of executing this plan of going for it now, to me, it's like Santa, like I'll sit on your lap. Sorry, I'm really heavy. please get Rob Pelinka a leather jacket with one zipper and convince him to play, like, to go for it this year. That's all I ask. Not in any particular order there. I might flip
Yeah,
them.
it's like, Rob, think of like how hard you can do like the Zoolander blue steel in your 100 zipper jacket at the championship parade,
Yeah. Costco even has aviator fossil glasses for $20 right now. Like, not that I think Rob Pelinka
Yeah,
needs this kind
Rob's
of
not wearing
sunglasses.
$20 sunglasses. That man, Rob's sunglasses cost $1,000.
Are there $1,000? I guess there are.
I'm sure there are. Yeah.
What do you possibly get from a $1,000 pair of sunglasses?
I don't know.
I'd be afraid to wear them. I would be like terrified to wear $1,000 pair of sunglasses.
I have a pair of shoes that I got customized that I am afraid to wear because it's like I don't want to screw them up.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that was not even $1,000. That was, like a couple hundred. But I would still I'm like, this is beautiful. I don't want to ruin it.
I think like the most expensive thing I've ever worn was back when I was at Men's Warehouse. I had like a suit that was $700, and that was back then. And same thing though, like terrified to wear it. I think I only wore it like 4 times, because it was just such a stressful experience. And sunglasses are so much more frail than that. But anyway, yeah, I let's get into the micro of how we would like.
I think to wrap up the Rob thing, like it's just so, and we've been over this, but like it's just so much easier to sit there and be like, we're not good enough to go all in. We have to kick the can down the road for your job security. Than for keep his job, Rob, as we've called him.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to do that than to be like, I believe in this team. I'm putting my judgment on the line. I think they're good enough to go all in, and I want to put something on the table for it. Because then you're making a gamble. Then you're pushing chips in, and it's going to be remembered if you were wrong. Whereas you can't really prove like a double negative where it's like, oh, like you guys could have been good enough to win if you had gone all in.
Yeah. Well, and it's always like, I know that you said this earlier in the pod, so I'm not like,
it is to just say like, I don't know.
Like it's one thing, because this can sometimes frustrate me when I talk to people close to the Lakers. It's like they'll ask me, who's out there? Who's the guy that you would get? And it's like, why are you asking me that?
That's your job to know.
Yeah, like like and I understand that you made this point earlier.
Wait, are they like earnestly asking? Are they like, wait, who have you heard's out there though? Like, I don't know. Like, do you have Troy Weaver's number?
I could tell the story here.
Yeah.
And
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, are they asking you like genuinely? They're like, wait, do you know Sam Presti? Like, is he like any of the end of bench guys? Is he looking to offload? Like, I don't know. Like,
I think that might be safe to tell that story. What do you think? You know which story I'm talking about?
No. I would not. That's not. I don't think it's your place.
What if I try to like leave the names out?
I mean, you could try. It's up to you. It's your show.
Oh man, maybe if I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'll tell that story.
Yeah, I think you could maybe tell it without. I mean, you could maybe tell it without media people's names.
Yeah. When Magic was I'm already too far in. When Magic was in charge of the Lakers and they were having those negotiations with the Pelicans, the word that's out there is that he had to get Dell Demps' number from somebody who covers the Lakers. I won't say who, but that was a thing. So like when you say you have Troy Weaver's number, I was like,
yeah, I'm just saying, like, look, we've seen it before. We know that there are a lot of GMs who don't like Rob. It's
yeah. All right, let's.
Who have you heard quickly out there? I don't know. Like, your intel is better than ours. I don't know. Like, we just fired the whole scouting staff.
That is not the first part is a lie, but the second part,
Yeah.
I genuinely want to know like how they are handling that.
Rob's on hoops rumors, just like seeing what's being reported about who's available, and then like going through the NBA Blue Book, like calling like the Pacers PR person, being like, "Hey, do you have Rick Carlisle's number, like that you could pass along to me?"
He's like trying to see which team's DMs are open on Twitter.
Yeah. He has the Lakers account login. DMs at Matt. Hey, since Nico is gone, I don't really know how to get a hold of you guys. Like, what's Mike Finley's number? Like just want to circle back, see if maybe we could get Max back. I don't know.
We lost our contact there.
Yeah, Nico's gone, so I don't know who to reach out to now.
Yeah.
I tried calling him. He's not picking up.
Could you imagine if the like at Lakers DM'd at Pacers asking,
yeah,
hey, who do we contact about Ben Matherin's asking price?
DM at Sixers. Hey, like if you're looking to make a salary dump, to get under the tab, like if you like, we take Grimes.
Yeah. All right. So as far as like the how, right? The how of how we would like to see the Lakers go about this. To me, it's like you have
Should I just go Rob Pelinka mode and just say what I don't want them to do, not actually commit anything? Just be like, don't do this. I don't have any good ideas, but here's I'm gonna shit talk all yours.
No, what if all right, so I've been asking for like things over the years and never get what I'm asking for. So what if I say what I don't want them to do in an effort to brain fuck them into doing the right, like the smart thing?
Yeah.
Go get a combo guard, Rob. You can never have too many of those.
The Kings might have some guys available.
Yeah.
Dennis, I'm coming home.
Go get Zach LaVine. Let's see what try to make the max
work.
work.
Oh God. Please no. Hey, it's like, what if you had worse, but way more expensive Austin Reeves?
The Lakers already operate a ton in the mid range. Why not just go get the mid range king himself, DeMar DeRozan? Bring him home.
Look, I mean, that's it's a better Rui. I don't know.
What does he make compared to
more than Rui? I'm sure. I think it's like 30.
He's in the 20s. Let's see. Fanspo. Sacramento Kings.
The Russ is on the minimum, might be gettable,
Jesus, the Kings are the worst team in the West right now.
They're in a lot of ways, yeah.
6-22. Woof. 24.7 million.
Maybe the Lakers just go all in on like the no athleticism identity. Go get Sabonis,
No, God, no. Please
just lean into the like we will never guard anyone ever,
or rebound ever.
Yeah.
Keon Ellis is only making $2.3 million. I wonder if you could like Jedi mind trick. Like if you could Jedi mind trick them into like Rui and Gabe for Ellis and DeRozan.
I mean, I think that they might just at some point decide like we just need to get off salary, and so maybe like there is a pathway there. I don't think that I mean Ellis, I think again, like I think probably like a helpful player, but not really like an overall answer. The Lakers are Keon Ellis away from true contention. But anything that helps, like I'm for, like, and he's cheap. The one name that I've seen like several people sort of bring up is like, hey, could they get, could they deal with the Clippers and go get like Chris Dunn or something if the Clippers decide to become sellers and just see if they can get any assets whatsoever for any of their guys as they like flounder to the bottom of the West. And my thing is like, it seems like that dude like and Luka hate each other. And so I think it's probably unlikely that the Lakers go after him.
So I wonder how Luka's going to be wired, because he and Marcus Smart have had some battles over the years, and he reached out to Smart about bringing him to LA. So
the Dunn and Luka thing seems like on a personal level, I hate you though. Like they almost fight every single time they play. Like that seems like that's a beyond basketball thing. Like there's probably a story there, you know.
By the way, Rui and Kleba for DeMar and Ellis works. It gets the Kings out of the second year of DeMar's contract. You get Rui back,
Third,
who's like,
right?
huh?
Would it be third?
Well, like the after this
Yeah,
year, so like this
I
year
get
and
what you're
another
saying.
year
Yeah,
beyond it.
yeah.
And then for the Lakers, they get like, the athletic shooting guard in Ellis, and then DeMar kind of makes up for some of Rui's, offensive capabilities
But
with the
doesn't
bench
shoot
unit.
threes and arguably cramps the paint more.
Well, I kind of wonder if well the only way this works is if DeMar is willing to come off of the bench and
Yeah.
Ellis starts.
And again, DeMar is not good enough at this point that I care about your feelings. Like,
I
sorry,
agree.
you're coming off the bench.
No, I mean, like, that's the thing is that, like, I would tamper if I were the Lakers, obviously legally, but I would try to figure out a way, like, to gauge DeMar's openness in, a bench role here with the Lakers so that Ellis could start. And now all of a sudden you have Austin, Ellis, Luka, LeBron, and Ayton starting. You have DeMar DeRozan kind of manning your second unit. He offers some creativity whenever one of Luka, LeBron, or Austin go to that's a pretty overwhelming bench unit. Like a team with like a staggered Luka or a staggered LeBron or a staggered Austin or some combination of those guys plus DeRozan being capable as like a safety valve as well. Now your defense is going to be pretty bad because he's really bad defensively, but
yeah, I also think that you're like asking for problems with like him, being like, oh, we're a big four now,
maybe.
Yeah.
It would solidify the Drake beef though, right? Like DeMar and LeBron being guys that Drake has now like shat on publicly. Like maybe they could relate over that.
I mean, in fairness, like DeMar, you went out there and danced in a video calling Drake, some like a PDF file, I think was the word.
Look, DeMar's nickname like growing up was Debo. Like if I was Drake, I wouldn't mess with him too much. You earned the nickname Debo. So but yeah, I don't know. Look, the point here is to like convince Rob what not to do. And I wouldn't trade for DeMar DeRozan. He wouldn't be my first choice here.
Yeah.
I would prefer that they do whatever it needs to be done.
I really want
to
one
go
of the
get
Pelicans.
Herb Jones.
Yeah.
That, like that's the move. Like that's it's staring right at you. And
Lakers, they need role players. They don't need creation or big names or like that kind of stuff. Like they don't need it. Like Rui again is like indicative of the problem. Like a good mid-range shooter, like talented offensive player, but like that's not what you need. You need a guy who can get it done on the other end.
Yeah,
they have enough offense, almost with Luka by himself, but certainly with Luka and Austin, and then whatever you're getting from LeBron, you have the offense covered. DeAndre Ayton's going to be unbelievably efficient. There's just like, it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. There's one ball.
Yeah. I saw Dan Wojcicki report that like the Lakers don't have enough to go get Herb Jones now. And I don't know if that is
well, I believe that in December.
Right now, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Is that like right now they don't have what it would take to get him. I do kind of wonder if the Pelican season continues in the way that it has for most of this year, that they say, well, shit, we gave away one pick for Derek, a full unprotected pick for Derek Queen. So maybe we should get a pick back, even if it won't be anywhere near as good as the one that we sent out.
Yeah.
And one of the ways to do that is to get a pick from the Lakers.
And look,
here.
They're pretty good at drafting. They're not great at asset evaluation, it doesn't seem like, but they're pretty good at drafting. So like that's been the Troy Weaver thing, is like he's look at the Pistons and how many of his guys are there eventually on that team. He can't do the team building thing. He just sees a guy he wants and he's like, here's 7 first-round picks for him. And it's like, wait, no, like that's
I mean, I wonder how many of the problems in Detroit can all kind of be traced back to them overpaying Monty Williams, who didn't want to coach anymore.
Well, I also think I think it's a Troy Weaver thing as well. And like, it seems like he sort of more primary. I know Joe Dumars is like the head of basketball ops, but like by all the reports, like it's more like he's not a desk guy, Magic Johnson style. he's there to sort of like give it some credibility and like, talk to people, and he knows phone numbers, and like people like
I
Joe.
think Joe Dumars is from
I believe
Louisiana.
so. Yeah.
So like, I think that
but I think
that
Troy
played a big
Weaver is
role
like
in the hire.
Troy Weaver is like the Rob Pelinka, Joe Dumars is Magic Johnson. And
Mhm.
it's like, can you maybe get him to value just having a pick in the draft to continue to add young talent to their like rebuilding core, over like Herb Jones down the line.
Yeah. It's a good draft coming up. Well, no, I guess the draft will be from 2031, so that doesn't really do much for you. Man, I hope the Thunder don't get somebody at the top of this upcoming draft by way of the Clippers.
Well, they might get like 3 picks at the top of the draft. So
Yeah. But yeah, like to me, it's like, yes,
and they're
I
too
don't
good
think
to trade for Giannis. It's like, it's funny. They like need a consolidation trade, but they have too many good players to like consolidate them into one good player. It's like,
yeah,
like they're too good for their own good.
The thing with like Herb Jones, and I think you can lump Andrew Wiggins into this. You mentioned OG Anunoby before. Keon Ellis is a couple tiers below the kinds of guys that we're talking about here. Same for like Ayu Dosunmu, I would say is in that Keon Ellis range. But with those guys like, Herb Jones and Wiggins and especially Anunoby, like you're paying a price based on who that player is in their current situation. And the way that I would look at it is,
can you find another Rui, a guy that's undervalued, about to get their second contract by their team?
Yeah. Well, technically that would be like Dosunmu, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, can you find another guy like that? You don't necessarily have to go get a big name. And the other thing is like, I'm just tired of them.
I kind of want them to go get the big name. Like, I kind of want them to go like use the pick to go get Herb. Like, I just don't see a world where Herb Jones costs that much more than Rui in a first. Huh?
Yeah, the Pelicans have to be willing to take that price. And so like, that's a variable. But my thing is like, just stop losing the same way. Even if you get a player who is flawed and not as good, like if you get your Keon Ellis, obviously, again, that's not the answer to contention, but can you get a little better? Can you get a better sample size on like what a more normal lineup looks like? Yeah. And then like, does that allow you to be like, okay, well, Keon Ellis made this big of a difference. Like, what if we went and got this person?
But isn't that already Smart? Smart's already made that case for you.
Well, maybe, but they're not playing him enough to like totally make that case, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because not so quietly, the Lakers are 4-4 in their last 8, right?
Yeah.
And the argument
been pretty
against
banged up, but yeah.
Yeah, but like the argument against benching Rui has always been like, well, they were winning. And now it's like, you're not. Yeah. They've kind of slid down the standings a little bit, and the defense.
Ironically, like if Luka and Austin are both out, you may need Rui in the starting lineup more, but just like have some scoring punch in there. But
I don't think for one thing, I think Austin is back at some point this week, and
I mean they did say like probably a week. So
and then Ayton is already back, I believe. I think he's off of the injury. I think JJ Redick said he's off of the injury report, so he'll be back in tomorrow's game. It looks like. Gabe, I believe, will be back around the end of the week or so, and then Luka, the calf thing is I think they're going to be very comfortable. Or
actually, we should have known Ayton was coming back for Phoenix.
But like I think they're going to be very, very cautious with Luka because getting his calf bumped into is what actually set off everything last year. And I think they're going to be super cautious about that. So,
and you just don't want to mess with a calf. How many of these guys that tore their, I don't want to like speak evil or whatever into the world, but like how many of these guys that tore their Achilles, tore their whatever, like started out as a calf?
Yeah. I mean, it for a while there, they were trying to make it seem as if there wasn't a correlation or there wasn't a link between the two injuries, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of data now. There's a few guys now where that has happened, right? Kevin Durant, Tyrese Halliburton,
attached, aren't they?
Yeah, it's same region.
I was gonna say, like, how big of a leap are we making here medically? Like, you gotta go get Dr. Jen from the other room, but like, I believe they're attached, so I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I look, neither you or I are a doctor, but I'll ask Jen. I'll ask Jen if she thinks there's a link between torn Achilles and calf strength. All right. I think that's gonna just about do it here.
Yeah, your calf is connected to your Achilles.
Yeah, it is, but I just don't know that there's like a direct correlation.
I mean,
like medically speaking, like I don't know that there are any
not
like
there. I think there's been a
studies
lot of
that show that.
There's been a lot of discourse in the NBA around the rise in calf injuries and Achilles tears, and like especially these soft tissue, these really bad soft tissue tears to like young players. And it's like, I think it's how much defensive demand there is on you now in today's game. Like, again, go back and watch a clip of an 80s game and watch like 4 guys standing up straight around the perimeter, when their guy doesn't have the ball versus like what you have to do on every single defensive possession in today's NBA game in like the hyper optimized, like offensive versus defensive battle.
Plus pace is way up.
Yeah.
Like you're defending at that level of intensity for even more possessions over the course of a game.
And also
like
Holmes
I think you could trace
like
a lot of
number of stories for ESPN on like the rise in young player injuries being tied to like specialization and guys not playing multiple sports anymore. You wear out your joints because you're playing 18 basketball games a week versus playing a couple times pick up for fun and then playing your high school game and then going and playing baseball and just really like well rounding your whole system.
Yeah, no, this is a real problem in baseball with pitchers, right? Where you have pitchers coming up through the ranks where they're throwing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pitches. And I remember, because I was a decent little pitcher when I was growing up. And in
what sport have you not claimed that you're good at on the podcast?
I was like an okay athlete. Like I was like pre 3 chins. Like I was pretty good at some stuff. But when I was growing up, like the rec ball that you played, like city leagues, there was like a limit on the number of curveballs that you could throw. And I don't think any umpires ever tracked it. But it kind of kept the your coach honest. And I used to throw a pretty good curveball. So like when I went and I played in competitive, like on a club team, with the ponies, like they had or Mustangs, I forget which one it was, but like there was no limit. I feel like
it's got to be the Mustangs. There's no way that your team was called the Ponies.
Well, because like ponies was like the younger club, and then like Mustangs was like when you grew up. So I forget when I. Are
you saying that you were playing for the Pink Pony Club?
Yeah, exactly. Da, 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 da. Yeah, but like yeah, so when I got to club and there was no limit, my manager had me throwing 3 curveballs in at bat. And I remember like it was the first time I like pitched in a game, and the next day I woke up sore, and my dad and like my dad had to talk to the manager and was like, "Hey, you can't have him throw like that again." Like that is he's like 12. 12-year-olds are not supposed to be sore.
Like his arm is going to cross home plate at some point.
Yeah.
A lot attached to the ball.
Right. Yeah. And that was like me, like the one time that manager made me throw like that. And you have these kids who were throwing like that for their entire childhoods, not playing any other sport, because I would go from a baseball game to a basketball game to a soccer game. Yeah.
And now you have, Luka, who's been doing 35% usage rate against adults since he was like 13.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's in like playing a specific way, right? Where he's constantly accelerating and decelerating at like incredible rates. Of course, his calves are.
How many hamstring injuries has James Harden had? It's like a comparable play style, players, whatever. Like, again, I'm not saying like Luka needs to totally change his game or something like that, but the Lakers have to be careful with it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. This has been fun. We have a game tomorrow night. Raj and I will be in the lounge to recap that one. And then Christmas Eve, figuring out the schedule on that one, because my wife is going to shoot me if I record too often on Christmas Eve before we host people on Christmas.
You doing a Christmas pod? A Christmas game pod?
Oh God, no.
Get the family in there?
Dude, I'm telling you, the podcast would open like this. It would be, and we're live. Welcome everybody here to the newly divorced Lakers Lounge podcast.
No, look, you can make it like it's like everybody needs activities. You can make it like the male bonding activity where it's like you do a pod with your dad and your father-in-law about the Christmas game.
Well, because what time do the Lakers play on Christmas? They play.
I think they're the 2:00 game, right?
Nope. They're the 7:00 game, which is 5:00 your time. In the middle of dinner. Hey guys, enjoy this beef I slaved over for 3 days.
I gotta lock in on these Rui defensive possessions.
No, Jen, the look that I would get from Jen. Hey babe, can you say grace? No, man, I got a pot.
Shh, I got my mics on. Do you not look at the green lights?
Be in so much trouble.
Shut up.
Just she would be like, you know what? No, I will podcast. You sit here and host. And it'd be
for Money Boy 2779, I'd say Anthony is prepared for that pivot. He's already in Austin. Like he's
probably not. No red hats in my future. Don't even like the Angels. But on that note, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Make somebody else's, and Raj and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Harrison.